गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यमुनातीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय जगन्नाथ बालदेवा जय सुभद्रमा
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रम
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव
जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव
जय जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव महारानी की गौर निताई की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। महाराज श्रीपद महाराज की जय। ऑल द assembled Vaishnavas की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये।
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
Namaste.
जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की।
जय।
Jai.
So reading from Canto 7, Chapter 5. This Canto 7, Chapter 5, text number 38. Acha, okay. Next second, let me also keep there. This is SB 7.5. सर्वेर उपायर हंतव्य
सर्वैरुपायैर्हन्तर्
संभोजाशन आसनः
सम्भोजाशेनासनः
सुहृल्लिङ्गधरा शत्रुर्
शिहिल्लिङ्गाधरा
मुने दुष्टुम इवेन्द्रियम।
मुनेर्दुष्टुम् इवेन्द्रियम्।
Translation and purport by Srila His Divine Grace Vikthan Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, this one. Just as uncontrolled senses are enemies of all yogis engaged in advancing in spiritual life, this Prahlad, who appears to be a friend, is an enemy because I cannot control him. Therefore, this enemy, whether eating, sitting, or sleeping, must be killed by all means. Oh, acha. Okay. And this perfect. Hiranyakashipu planned a campaign to kill Prahlad Maharaj. He would kill his son by administering poison to him while he was eating, by making him sit in boiling oil, or by throwing him under the feet of an elephant while he was lying down. What is this? Thus, Hiranyakashipu decided to kill his innocent child, who was only 5 years old, simply because the boy had become a devotee of the Lord. His attitude of non-devotees toward devotees. Okay, go next. This is 38, na? 39, 40. Nertaste samadishta bhartra vaishulapanayah tigmadamshtra karalasyas tamra samrishu shiroruha nandanto bhairavam nadam chindanti bhinditi vadina asinam chahana shule praharadam sarva marmasu praharadam. Okay. Translation. The demons, Rakshasas, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, thus began striking the tender parts of Prahlad Maharaj's body with their tridents. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish coppery beards and hair. Coppery beards and hair. And they appeared extremely threatening, making a tumultuous sound, shouting, "Chop him, pierce him." They began striking Prahlad Maharaj, who sat silently meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. 7, 5, 41. 39, 40, 41. Okay. Pare Brahmani Anirdeshe Bhagavati Akhilatmani Yuktatmane Afala Asan Apunya Seshve Satkriyaha Apunya Sev Satkriyaha. Okay, translation. Even though a person who has no assets in pious activities performs some good deed, it will have no result. Thus, the weapons of demons had no tangible effects upon Prahlad Maharaj because he was a devotee undisturbed by material conditions and fully engaged in meditating upon and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable, who cannot be realized by material senses, and who is the soul of the entire universe. Purport. Prahlad Maharaj was constantly and fully engaged in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Constantly and fully engaged. As it is said, Govinda Parir Ambitaha. Prahlad Maharaj engaged himself always in meditation. And thus he was protected by Govinda. Just as a small child on the lap of his father or mother is fully protected, a devotee in all conditions is protected by the Supreme Lord. Does this mean that when Prahlad Maharaj was attacked by demons, the Rakshasas, Govinda was also attacked by the demons? This is not possible. There have been many attempts by the demons to hurt or kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he cannot be injured by any material means because he is always in transcendence. Therefore, the words Pare Brahmani are used here. Pare Brahmani. The demons, the Rakshasas, can neither see nor touch the Supreme Lord, although they may superficially think that they are striking the Lord's transcendental body with their material weapons. The Supreme Personal Godhead is described in this verse as Anil Deshe. We cannot understand him to be in a particular place, for he is all pervasive. Moreover, he is Akhil Atma. Akhil Atma. The active principle of everything, even material weapons. Well, weapons made of atoms, so if he is an atom, then Akhil Atma, the active principle of everything. Those who cannot understand the position of Lord are unfortunate. Those who cannot understand the position of the Lord are unfortunate. They may think that they can kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotee, but all their attempts will be futile. The Lord knows how to deal with them. Very nice. Try this one. Okay. Pare Brahmani Anirdeshe Bhagavati Akhilatmani Yukta Atmani Afalasam Apunyashev Satkriyaha. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Sarupa Damodar Swamiti Namine Namasa Bhakta Manaye Manipurudhavaya Cha Srila Prabhupada Lasatwani Pracharinatayate. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai ho. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai ho. So here there is a description about the signs of Supreme Lord, which also includes actually the signs of the devotees, because he is never separate from them. And that also includes the signs of devotional service, the relationship, because without that, still there is also part of that signs of God, signs of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they are all included in the signs of Lord, the signs of devotees, and the signs of devotional service, signs of relationship between devotee and the Lord. So here, our Hiranyakashipu is very disturbed by hearing and seeing the devotional qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Actually, one should be very happy if somebody else is a devotee. You should immediately become very happy by seeing a devotee. That's a sign of a devotee. He becomes happy upon seeing the other devotees, seeing the devotees. So Hiranyakashipu, the very symptom of non-devotional culture is that you become unhappy by seeing the devotees. Devotees are what? Basically the representative of the Lord. They belong to that family, Bhagavata family. This this Bhagavat means pertaining to God, Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is his family. His family includes all his devotees who are devoted to him. In fact, if we go in reality or in essence, in tattva, whatever we say, everybody is devotee of the Lord. So whole creation is his family, in essence. But because of impurity or conditioning, living entity forgets. So those who are in the process or who are already acquired or who are already there, engaged, different types of devotees. So that is why primarily we call the Bhagavat family. So Prahlad Maharaj is one of the great personality in this Bhagavat family. So to understand the Lord, well, in our uh, modern life, in modern education, God is missing. There is no education and no training. So that's why sometimes there's a lot of gap in our comprehension, in our understanding. Everything is presented as if there is no God. Whole textbooks, education, training, research, campus life, departments, everything is presented as if there is no God. So naturally, if you do something which is wrong, you will see the problems. The results will be coming, right? If you do action which is wrong, results will come from there naturally. This universe is so nicely designed. Whatever you do, however you hide, whatever you do, the reaction is surely will come. It will come in a different way. May not be exactly the same way what you are doing, but reaction will come. It's the same in modern culture, in civilization, in our education. There are so many issues, foundational issues, problems in the roots, because they miss out the main point, main person. And that's why there are issues everywhere if you go in the roots. And of course, there will be not only issues in the science and education, there are also issues in one's own life. He will not be contented and satisfied, whatever he gets, because matter cannot satisfy the living entity. Can never. So there will always he will feel a gap. So life will remain incomplete. So like that, so there are a lot of trials, and to find out if there is somebody, and our whole modern attempts, scientific understanding, education is aimed at that. Find out who is there behind, and we call it different names. Instead of here, we call it black and white, the Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna, there we call it ultimate reality, absolute truth. So many ways, so many different little abstract words, but idea is same. To find out who is behind this cosmos, uh, that is the idea. It's all this research, curiosity, exploration, expeditions, experiments. Finally, to find out who is there behind, who is doing, what is the cause. So many attempts, so many theories are there. So this science of God, so there we can get some hints. The beautiful part is that by exploration, by contemplation, by experiments, you can get some hints. Can hits that there is somebody, some person, some being behind. Because there are so many hints are there. When you see the structure, the order in the cosmos, and the details, the complexity, the purpose, so many things will come out. Beauty, then you get hints. You get hints that there's somebody there out there. Or you see through intelligence so much nicely arranged things. Not ordinary order, very, very complexly designed orders. Like sometimes some scientists say, no, or irreducible complexity. You cannot reduce it. They try to reduce complexity into simple thing which can come out from something material, and so whole idea is to somehow minus God. That's all, which they cannot, which nobody can. His life will end, but this he cannot minus it. So, but if one is genuine, one will, if a genuine seeker, he will realize, well, there is definitely somebody there. So he can get good hints, good direction. Well, definitely somebody is there. So who is that person, and then details about that being, that person, that one cannot know by under speculation, by thinking, by experiments. One cannot know. One can get hints, but one cannot know about him, or one cannot relate to him deeply. So that requires devotional journey, devotional path, bhakti. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Avijananti. Only devotees can know me. So Einstein may try anything, or Schrodinger, Heisenberg, any scientist may try to make ultimate theory, propose ultimate theory. There are always a loopholes, because only devotee can know the ultimate reality, means the Lord. Not only know, he can see, realize, touch, interact, relate, so many things. So that's the beauty of our devotional journey. By this one can know the Lord, and he will be revealed. So that's what Prabhupada is saying in this purport. He cannot be seen by material senses. That includes mind too. We cannot, just the sentence was there, no? Although you can understand, you can understand. Anyway, it's still there. So this whole verse, these verses they describe the Supreme Lord. So then, by doing this, undergoing this devotional journey by bhakti, one can come to can factual understanding, and also know and realize, and he gets revealed. Otherwise, it is not possible. Irrespective of whatever education one has, whatever expertise one has, uh, one has to undergo this devotional process. And this devotional process, as given by our predecessors, our acharyas, our guru, then it will come out. Then everything will follow. This process, starting from Brahmaji, we are followers of Lord Brahma, Lord Narada, Lord Naradji. So everything will come out in the due course. You follow the journey, follow the process. Then only it will come out. But nevertheless, the attempts and there our tendency of curiosity or our exploration nature, it's not barred. One can get good hints. Also that can be used in service of the Lord, and one will progress. So this then uh, one can see. So like Prahlad Maharaj, uh, the devotees, the associates of the Lord, then all those things will naturally follow. One's relationship, like Rupa Goswami says, no? Ata Shri Krishna Nam Adi na Bhaved Graha Indriya. So Lord things cannot be by Indriya, by our senses, cannot be revealed. Sevan Mukha hi jivadav sahasrate yadaha. It will get revealed. Shruti. In the heart it will get revealed. So one has to patiently and obediently follow the process, and then all these things which we being taught, they will get revealed. Like Prahlad is giving a beautiful explanation or beautiful exposition to us. Basically, all this is exposition of his heart. Whatever we are reading, Prahlad Maharaj, his heart deeply absorbed. These are characteristics of devotees. They are fully dependent on the Lord. Fully dependent on the spiritual master, Shri Guru. So those things follow, and these things naturally come. For example, when we suppose you have a teacher, and suppose somebody is giving you some gift, or is guiding you, then you feel very grateful to him, and you want to give him something back, or respect him, touch his feet, right? Or serve him, or like parents or teachers or parents, and then you want to fully dedicate your life to them. So these are natural qualities. You want to hear, you want to glorify them, and you want to serve, and you will remember about them when they are not physically in front of you, or even when it goes deeper in physically front, is still like that. And then touching their feet, and then fully dedicating Atma Nivedanam. So these are natural in material world also. So similarly, when one gets deeper in devotional journey, all these things naturally follow. Hearing about him, and when that connects to the Supreme Lord, that becomes a devotional service, bhakti, shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam. This will naturally, same thing like in material world, you have example, then when you love somebody and he's giving you, guiding you, so you feel you want to glorify him, you remember him, your parents, oh, they give so much to me, they have given me so much guidance, so much help. You want to touch his feet, and eventually you want to fully dedicate your life for them. So if one is little bit thoughtful, one can contemplate. If I get so obliged and so respect and so much, to and people of this world, with this parent, this teacher, which definitely we have to respect. And but then what about that person who is guiding me every moment, life after life, giving me gift every day, every minute, actually, frankly speaking, and not claiming that he is giving. That is also another. Not at all. Rather, he gives credit to his devotees. So, then he naturally, these qualities follow. You want to hear about him, you want to glorify him, you want to touch his feet, Pada Sevanam. This all this, and eventually you want to fully surrender to him. Who can be such a person, merciful person? So like this quality follow. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling these are qualities born out of a heart of a devotee. These qualities will be common actually in the all the devotees of the Lord, because they're born out from the core, from the heart. So very rare, but very, very beautiful. If one gets a taste, he will lose taste of anything of this world, guaranteed. He will get that taste, and that taste will only come under the direction and association of the devotees of the Lord. It is not otherwise possible. By reading books is good, useful, necessary, but not sufficient. One has to have association, personal guidance, association of the devotees of the Lord. Then those qualities, the same things will follow. One will see in his personal life, in his own, with his own eyes, in his own life, what Prahlad Maharaj is actually sharing. They are natural outcomes of devotional journey. Of course, you will never be like him. Our great acharyas are, you can say, like in mathematics, infinite in devotional journey for us, for tiny iota like us. But the qualities one can perceive, same kind of qualities one can see. In our case, like we see in our spiritual master, our Srimad Maharaj, those qualities one can see practically in every day-to-day basis. So the roots of these qualities lies in the Lord. That person has all these qualities. That is why his devotees get all these qualities. And that is why those who cannot associate with the Lord because of impurity, if they associate with the devotees of the Lord, they also acquire this quality and they become devotees. That's the beauty. So how this beautiful, positive, contagious, this devotional journey. When you become devotee, then the it percolates, it spreads like a wave. You put a stone in the water and it goes like this, right? One touches, another touches, like this. So spreading the goodness, spreading the devotional goodness, like this. Devotional lover journey. So if one is fortunate, one should always aspire uh, the direction of the fulfilling the direction orders of devotees of the Lord, their association. From there, everything will sprout up. Our impure heart, which has done unlimited asat sangha, and that is why no taste for devotion and devotees, uh, will slowly get infected with good things, with these devotional qualities which Prahlad Maharaj is actually expressing. And one can personally taste them in his own life. And once the taste comes, then he is gone. Means he materially becomes useless, and which is all we all would like to have. We will not have interest in this world. But nevertheless, so we are very thankful, very grateful to our Guru, our Acharya, because of them, we are able to at least get a glimpse of these high-class, beautiful domain. Otherwise, we will be lost in completely useless things of this world, which have no meaning, meant for only for death. So much hard work, so much big goals, projects, only waiting for death. That's all. So that is all. So we end here. It's 8 getting time, 8:15. Actually, there's a lot of description. Prabhupada is mentioning about the Lord here, and how Prahlad Maharaj is fully absorbed. Those things naturally will follow. But some part one can at least understand theoretically. So then one who is dependent on him, there is a quality of the devotees that they are fully dependent. Like it says in Bhagavad Gita, right? He doesn't know anything other than me, and I don't know anything other than him. So that relationship, that like it goes deeper and deeper. Same with the spiritual master. It's basically consciousness. When consciousness gets purified more and more, that relationship grows internally, from the master to the Lord, to every living being on this planet or in this universe. So we end here, and if there are any discussions and or any questions, we can take. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. And thank you for this nice and wonderful class. Shall we take questions, Maharaj?
Yeah, we can take something.
Yeah, if anyone is having any question, they can raise the hand and ask His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Kumar Maharaj.
It is said here in this purport, those who cannot understand the position of the Lord are very unfortunate. The Lord knows how to deal with them.
Maharaj, we have one question by our Radha Damodar.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj Ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Guru Maharaj Ji. Like we are understanding that God is not presented in scientific area. So how to explain them? Means we cannot directly explain God is required to them, but somehow we have to explain this thing. How to means every time this question comes to me, Guru Maharaj, like where to start means for explaining. I kind of understand little bit, but I suddenly don't understand.
Well, that's why Srimad Maharaj books are there. Like very simple thing is so many ways one can see, he can get hints. The very simple thing is consciousness. So consciousness cannot be explained by any material explanation. They have been trying in the last 50 years. And I mean, the people who are trying, they basically try somehow we can explain consciousness using material ways from brain. But then they fail. Even the scientists who were working on it, they convert. No, this is not possible. They go convert to back to, well, there's something more out there. The genuine people will come. Genuine people will come to that point. Only very adamant atheistic person, he'll try to keep on unnecessarily giving logics. But a genuine seeker, genuine person will know. He can see, well, yes, there is a point there, something out there. So, Srimad Maharaj has given, so the consciousness is a very simple thing. One can start. We all have consciousness. We know we have consciousness. Everybody has consciousness. But what it is, we don't know. And neither you can explain it in terms of brain, nerves, sodium ions, potassium ions. So then, from where it is arising, what is its source? So one can naturally will come. There's something, same thing comes in physics, that the role of consciousness. Same thing comes in the, when you go in the roots of any subject, these things will come out. Unless one goes to the roots, he will not see. So that's why all the disciplines today in the roots are actually kind of blocked. They're like dead ends. Dead ends. Take any discipline, AI, any discipline. Dead ends are there. And we don't know why it is. Why we are not moving forward. You can do some tricks here and there and move some technology, but the core concepts are at dead ends. So that people know who are in the field. So like this, so consciousness is something which everybody can comprehend, easy, and at the same time cannot explain using any material explanation. So then naturally next question will be, if it is non-material, from where it comes, how it comes, and then naturally our consciousness is very limited, very small. I don't know what is happening in your body right now. I can, to some extent, even my own body also don't know what is happening right now in my gallbladder. I can scan it. I don't know the details and every minute thing of everything. Even medical science has limitations, tremendous limitations. At some point, just there to go. They have some broad sketch, not so. So we don't know. So since our consciousness is very limited, so that means there must be something more beyond us who has bigger consciousness. So that means ultimately there has to be supreme consciousness. That is God. So one can start from where he is and he can reach up to God very easily. He can start from consciousness. Because other things one may not be able to see what is going on in the solar system or what is going on in the quantum world, but one can see that he has a consciousness. Things you start from there you are, and then there slowly, step by step, one can go up to the point. Similarly, Srimad explains so many things. No? That's why reading his books is important. If one wants to connect to modern intelligentsia, it is essential to read Srimad Maharaj books. Like intelligent, this order, design in the cosmos. So one can see the molecules, the angles, the structure. The other day I was seeing a tiny structure of our tiny, hemoglobin structure. There's a scientist, he got Nobel Prize for this, some Max something. He worked 22 years just trying to find out the structure of this hemoglobin. Almost 50% of his life. He worked to find out the structure. One structure of one protein molecule. A lot of struggle. So, and then you get amazed when you see the structure first time, when he started making it lot of details. So how it was made, how it is made, the three-dimensional folded structure, you know, very complex. It gets more. There are so many protein molecules. So when you go deeper, you can see so much. You get amazed that how come this structure? I'm struggling whole life to understand tiny structure, but how it is made, and you know, it cannot be just made by random process, because it is so fine and so this structure, the functioning of the protein depends on the structure of this molecule. So if you change, it's not just random that any structure you can make it will function, and then your functioning is not ordinary. Your whole cell process and your life finally, this material body. So one can see, one can go into the details. Then one can see, well, definitely there is intelligence there, supreme intelligence. So like Srimad Maharaj says in God Intelligent Design book, like this. Okay, so get some idea.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, today it is Bhaktivedanta and Sutta disappearance also. So maybe
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is a Simha Guru. We were some time back is going through his some small biography. It's very amazing. He's, our Guru, our Acharyas are incomprehensible for our ordinary minds, which are just engaged in some useless stuff of this world. But they are engaged. So much he did. So much he did. I was surprised and shocked. So much our acharyas have done. Nowhere we are. To glorify the Lord, to serve the Lord. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is very, very special. Actually, on this day also, I think this is the day our Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada signed Bhakti Institute. Now we form the party. He formally signed a letter. It's there in our big BI book in the end. He signed, I think it was Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Disappearance Day. He signed, and now we form Bhakti Institute for the scientific this preaching and all. So today, yeah, means so we can learn that from their, if you see their activities, their mood, they are like our ideals. Like in material world, people have a lot of ideals, na? This scientist, that Nobel Prize winner, or that that actor, the cricketer, all those things, people have ideals. So in our case, our guru, our acharyas are our ideals. So and Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is very, very extraordinary. And you can see the flavor of scientific and academic intellectual teaching in his efforts. He met so many intellectuals actually. Set up professional audio. He met so many intellectuals, and I remember and also avoiding envious people, unnecessary envious people. I remember one thing. One time, our who is this person? Our Subhash Chandra Bose, na? Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was he he was little envy. He got why he has so many people, so many followers. So he once met him and he saw that you have so many young people, so many people you have, and they should be used for for India's national thing, India this thing, our country. And why you have, so Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, he avoided him. He saw that he's little bit, he said, well, you can just leave them. They are very skinny people. They eat little bit and chant and relax. They don't have much energy to do big things like you are doing. So they are very skinny. But our devotees are generally very simple and small, na? And thin because of their yeah, whatever. Gauranga Mahaprabhu devotees are very special. So he avoid. It is mentioned that how Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he was simple, in a simple way, to avoid. Well, his contributions are unlimited. One can read it will be very inspiring. His biography will be very inspiring. Of course, we can never be like them, but we can get inspiration to move forward. That enormous amount of dedication, enormous amount of he's our great grandfather. So tremendously. So that is why, at least if we can acquire small genes from father, grandfather, you acquire genes, right? In biology. So in a spiritual genes, tiny genes at least, not full DNA, at least tiny genes we can acquire. Then it will be very good. Okay.
Yes, good morning. We have our Govind Maharaji hand raised.
Yeah, Maharaj can now summarize, and everything he can explain. Whatever we must be, a lot of things must be missing, so he can explain.
क्यों घबरा रहे हैं महाराज?
Hare Krishna.
मेरा तो प्रश्न था, Radha Guru asked very wonderful question. I was wondering, because you all discuss so much about consciousness and which is yet to be proved in the eyes of those who are not so smart to appreciate the presence of consciousness. But in search of when we emphasize the knowledge of God or concept of God through consciousness, would people be very interested to understand what is supreme consciousness versus one who is supremely conscious? Which would be more conducive, more appealing to people? Because the ultimate question is supreme consciousness God or one who is supremely conscious?
Yeah,
because comparatively people know that I know this much little, but somebody knows more, somebody knows more, somebody knows. Who is one who knows it all? So that could be a good advice or way to explore the possibility of God, even if it is something is like a concept or something, but definition wise at least.
Nice, Maharaj, very nice. Only devotees get this kind of thoughts. Yeah, this actually this consciousness has a different levels of exploration. Means the basic level is that something different from material conception, something non-material kind of thing. But there are advanced versions of exploration. When you go further, next levels, their personality will also come in. Means consciousness actually is a very beautiful thing, because their personality will have to come. It goes into psychology, and then the personal aspects are also involved in the consciousness. So we just give the hint to start. Actually, जैसे कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, बुद्धिमान को इशारा काफी है. Means the intellectual people, the educated people, they need just basically hint, and then they will progress further and further. So once one starts exploring the basic things come out of the matter, then he will go to this consciousness and all, and then he will go to the personal aspect also. So consciousness will also indicate in advanced levels of exploration that there is a personality behind consciousness. Consciousness associated with a person, the non-material personality, beyond this body, physical body and this mind and all. So naturally, the same thing will follow for the supremely conscious person. It will follow that there is a person who is supremely conscious. So consciousness, it is not just a abstract property, it is actually quality of a personality, of a person. And when you talk about supreme, then there will be a supreme person who will have supreme consciousness. Maharaj, does that help anything? Does it make some sense? Or?
Of course, you are the authority on consciousness and all these things. My inquiry was really means the question was beautiful by Radha Damodar. That it comes how we explore in our trying to help others, trying to appreciate and gather more perspective, because even from material point of view, we cannot impose non-matter when the vision is so much clogged with the material angle only. That's the problem. And so even if God is presented as material being, because person means the person one who can be observed, seen, anything which is visible. And so even if Krishna appears to people, they think it's just material because this is the only experience through which the criterion they use to understand anything is matter. So it is not that they are cursed or anything, but this is the conditioning most of us all have it like that. So even to present someone who is perceived as materially, if it's so huge, so wonderful, so amazing, then it baffles all the material calculations or estimations of how much one can know unlimitedly. Then is it not true that the duality of vision, seeing something material or spiritual, disappear? Because ultimately there is nothing as material. Because only when the connection is lost, then it appears for the time being only material. Because ultimately, what is material and what is spiritual? You know, one is connection to and one is disconnect, isn't it? Even matter for that sake, is matter material or spiritual?
Yeah.
Depending on the consciousness, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
So the noun and adjective, that distinction should be explained, isn't it? Because to begin with, the material vision is being helped here through Srimad Bhagavatam. To see something materially or in matter terms is not something to be cursed or something, but one can lift that yes, the matter can be perceived with a different angle. It's just like when one sees something which is within his right, he sees connected to his field. But when something is beyond his right, he doesn't attach so much. So it's where one attaches the matter makes it material or spiritual, isn't it?
Right, right.
I was wondering.
Yes, sir. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, that is the whole idea.
Yeah, Maharaj, we have one more question by Shamchandra Prabhu. Shall we go for it for today?
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila
Pranam.
Sripad Maharaj, Jai Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. Thank you for very much for your wonderful scientifically oriented class today. That's very nice. And actually, I don't have any question, nor do I have any comments. But I thought, today being the Tirobhav of our, the movement leader, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. So I think it would be pertinent to, say a few words about him for our own purification. So if you permit, I would just like to take two lines.
Please. Sure, why not?
Okay. So today, I think first of all, we are all knowing each other and meeting also in the spirit of serving our spiritual master. The entire credit goes to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because had it not been for him, what would be our life? Where will be our? We are talking about consciousness. Where would we be situated today? Where is our Krishna consciousness in the in the absence of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? So today, being his Tirobhav, we can reflect upon his great contribution in each and everyone's lives, and for bringing us in contact with our spiritual master, so that we are all in the same boat that takes us back to Golok Dham. So, I mean, till the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaudiya Vaishnava movement was, like once after Mahaprabhu left, again there was a lot of asampradaya movement that was picking up, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, with the help of his father, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, ensured that the Gaudiya Vaishnava Vaishnavism is properly understood, and also ensured that not only the souls living in Bharatvarsha, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur dreamt of making the entire world Krishna conscious. So in that spirit, that torch, that spirit of torch was handed over to our Srila Prabhupada by him, and it was our Srila Prabhupada who took it to the West, and then the rest is history. Otherwise, how we could have found our spiritual master? And if we had not found our spiritual master, where would we be today? So we are greatly indebted to this great Vaishnava, His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was known as a Simha Guru. So Simha Guru is a guru, who can roar like a lion for the cause of uplifting all the fallen souls. And he was highly educated and most humble. He showed us by his own personal example how a devotee should live by serving his spiritual master. And he also showed how, if a guru is bestowing, the sincere guru in the parampara is bestowing to his disciple, and if the disciple is also sincere, then anything can be achieved for the pleasure of their lordships. So I really, on this particular day, I would like to beg and pray to His Holiness, to His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to bestow upon all of us the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, how we can, relish this chanting and absorb in it so powerfully that we are able to really, not only progress faster, but also help one another in our journey. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you. Yeah, Maharaj, maybe the discussion will go on.
Huh?
Discussion will go on, Maharaj. So if we want, maybe we can be here or
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Anybody has anything further?
regarding class, there might not be, but maybe everybody will speak 1 or 2 sentences regarding books.
Okay. Can speak.
We have Neelambar Maharaj ji.
दंडवत महाराज।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
तो भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय,
जय
श्रील
हो।
प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय, श्रील श्रीपाद गुरुदेव की जय। आज पवित्र तिथि जो उनका तिरुभाव उत्सव है, उनका गुण कीर्तन थोड़ा करें। तो उन्होंने हमको ये सब साफरान ड्रेस दिया है। इसके पहले हमारा ये वैष्णव संप्रदाय में साफरान ड्रेस नहीं था। तो प्रचार करने को हरिनाम तो एड्रेस उन्होंने उनका शिष्य लोग का माध्यम से ये स्थापना की, ड्रेस ब्रह्मचारी लोगों को पहनना। तो ऐसा पहन करके वो लोगों से प्रचार कर रहे थे। बाद में भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर ने प्रचार छोड़ करके साधना किए। भागवत ये गौड़िया मठ, क्या नाम,
बाग बाजार।
बाग बाजार गौड़िया मठ में भजन करने लगे। तो उनका सब पार्षद लोग, उनका सब शिष्य लोग बोले अभी गुरु महाराज बहुत अच्छे से भजन कर रहे हैं, अभी सेवा और कुछ नहीं है, हम आश्रम में बैठ गए, कलेक्शन तो आ रहा है। ऐसा मजाक थोड़ा बहुत करने लगे। तो भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर के पास ये सब कथा पहुंच गया। उनका सेक्रेटरी ने बताए तो कि सभी वो लोग कलेक्शन करने को जाते हैं ड्रेस पहन करके, बहुत कलेक्शन हो रहा है। तो इस कारण वो लोग ऐसा बोल रहे। तो हमारा भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर बोले ठीक है, आज से तुम वो दोनों गेट बंद कर दो, बोलो कोई भी जाना आवश्यक नहीं है, सब बैठ करके भजन करो। सब लोग बैठ करके भजन करने लगे। कुछ दिन के बाद जो जितना संचित था, राइस दाल सब्जी सब कुछ शेष हो गया, कुछ भी नहीं है। तो उनका सेक्रेटरी ने बोले गुरुदेव सब तो शेष हो गया, अभी तो कुछ नहीं है, तो क्या करेंगे। तो उन्होंने बताया, बोले तुम 2 दिन का पहले तो बोलना चाहिए, अभी आज पूरा शेष हो गया, तुम अब भी बोल रहे हो। तो बोले ठीक है, तुम जो पीछे गेट, पश्चिम गेट का तुम खोल दो जा। तो पीछे गेट जब खोले, देखे पूरा ट्रक सब राइस दाल सब तेल सब आइटम ला करके सब लाइन लगा करके खड़े हैं। और कोई कोई ड्राइवर लोग नीचे कुकिंग करके खा करके आ रहे। गेट खोला नहीं तो इसलिए दिए नहीं कोई। तो सब देखने लगे कि मंदिर का सेवा के लिए इतना सारे ग्रोसरी आइटम सो लेकर के बड़े बड़े मारवाड़ी लोग भेज दिए हैं। तो ये माध्यम से भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर बताए, यदि हम लोग भजन करें, यदि भगवान कृष्ण को संतुष्ट करे, हमारा कभी अभाव नहीं। लेकिन हम लोग सोच रहे कि हम लोग प्रचार कर रहे हैं, हम लोग कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं, नहीं, हम लोग का कुछ सामर्थ्य शक्ति नहीं है। हमारा गुरु महाराज का, पूर्व आचार्यों का आशीर्वाद से हम लोग थोड़े बहुत, हमारी बात कोई सुनता है, हम लोग को कोई सम्मान दे रहा है। हम लोग अपना कुछ साधना नहीं है। वो लोग हम लोग के लिए बहुत साधना किए, वो लोग का परिवार में हम लोग जन्म लिया, तो हम लोग को ये सब फैसिलिटी मिल रहा है। इन साथ साथ हम लोग भी वो शिक्षा दिए हैं, वो लोग पूर्वाचार्य लोग, तो साधना भी करना होगा। हम लोग खाली उनका आशीर्वाद के ऊपर निर्भर करेंगे तो आशीर्वाद तो आएगा, लेकिन साथ साथ ये भी आवश्यक है, साधना का भी बहुत आवश्यक है। ठीक है, मैं थोड़ा बहुत उनके गुण कीर्तन किया हूँ। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Maharaj ji. Respect Maharaj ji, please.
Hari Bol. I would like to hear more. And Siddhanta Thakur, it's the revolutionary in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So we have one founder Acharya is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya Vaishnava line. The next founder Acharya we can say is Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, who established Gaudiya Mats in an institutional way. He actually, his time was the toughest time. Bengal and India, the atmosphere is very, very difficult for him to establish the pure devotional service. Because there are so many misconceptions, there are so many established cults, don't want to see. But he being the ray of Vishnu, he could establish the the will of the Lord. So special empowerment is required for establishing the will of the Lord. So whatever today we are enjoying, or we can say benefiting from devotional service, this is the pure mercy of Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Prabhupada's offering, if Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur would have not come, how many more years would have taken for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission to get established? God is sentient, though has proved impersonal calamity, though has to move. This is Srila Prabhupada offering to Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. Let me open up. So, in order to remove impersonalism, where everything goes on in the God but minus God, is a calamity. What is this calamity? Everything goes on in the name of God but minus God. So Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur has to undergo so many difficulties, even the life threats. He had to undergo an operation, but he could not, because those who are intending to remove him are so influential that he did not even risk the operation. Operation is to remove the risk, but operation itself is become like a risk. So whatever we are able to do devotional service, or we became a devotee, is all pure mercy of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Sacrifice. So in order to bring back God is in a place where God is already established. True God. To bring back God into a place where God is already established, or some other concept, or God is established, is very difficult. Bhaktivedanta Thakur has done that great service. And we are eternally indebted to Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And his clarity, his scholarship, just by reading one time, whole dictionary is memorized. So remembering the sacrifice of those great acharyas, we should tolerate little difficulties, mostly out of mind. Because in our movement, physically, we are kept so comfortably by even that also by the blessings of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Otherwise, spirituality means something very austere type of living. But minimum requirements of the body are nicely taken care, and there is security in every respect. You don't have any dearth, but still mind is somehow disturbed. So we have to think about the sacrifice of these great acharyas, by whose sacrifice and hardship we got to this place. Therefore, seeing their sacrifice, what we do is nothing, zero. So that become inspiration for us to move forward, tolerate. It's mostly from the mind, because physically there is nothing to tolerate much. We're having nice prasadam, nice place to stay. Also AC in the summer or the winter, we have nice blankets. Everything is taken care. So if we don't correct ourselves, small things, and dedicate ourselves for this mission, then we wouldn't be very, we cannot call ourselves to be grateful. We could be called as ungrateful. Somebody has done such a great help, great favor for us, and we are just casual and not taking to full advantage, or rather becoming more disturbance. So mind, we should be previous acharyas, a great inspiration. From them we can learn how detached they are and how much they sacrifice. So without sacrifice, there is no bhakti. And real sacrifice is of the mind, from the mind. Now to what Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur has sacrificed, what Srila Prabhupada has sacrificed, and what Srila Sripad has sacrificed, and what we are fighting for. It is very, if we really look into ourselves, sometimes I feel very ashamed about myself, that what great atmosphere I was put in and how I am not able to perform enough, dedicate enough. Again, it is their pure mercy that we somehow are allowed to stay in the moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is their mercy. Otherwise, where is the question of we have any opportunity? So many abominable things. So it is a pure mercy. So we have to, there are good days to remember their mercy, sacrifice. And then Srila Prabhupada is the next Acharya. He took further. And Srila Sripad is the next Acharya. So we are blessed to be in line of Simha Gurus all the way, but Bhaktivedanta Thakur is especially the Simha Guru. And sometimes it's good to see our past lineage. That way we know where we stand and at least come to the minimum cooperation, minimum peacefulness in the mind, minimum positive thinking, minimum commitment. So that would be the real glorification. Something can change in our life and inspire us. So what is true glorification of Srila Prabhupada? So many Westerners, they gave up bad things and they became devotees. That is the real glorification. Not the buildings there also, but the real glorification is how it changed the people. So therefore, the glorification of our master is how we change. So if we change, Hare Krishna. I think moderator has given me all of a sudden and so many things are coming. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur's gift that we are all enjoying, but we are not repaying enough. We should repay. So these are the days to take some determination to move forward. Certain things in these special days to reinforce our commitment. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, his life will remain etched in the history of Vaishnavas forever. Revolutionized everything. Yukta Vairagya means Yukta Vairagya is not to use things in our service, but use in the service of Krishna, everything. So it is not something he invented, it is there in the Bhagavatam also. In the scriptures or acharyas, but he implemented it, he brought it in practice, facing so many odds. So threaten means risking his life. So we don't have that risks. We are very comfortable. But still mind is not in proper direction. So we pray to Bhaktivedanta Thakur to bless so that her mind is always flows towards the their lotus feet. And we become their instruments and do some little seva in a humble way. Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Pitambar Prabhuji. I think our Srikant Prabhu is also there.
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
प्रभु
आप कुछ बताएंगे
हम क्या बताएंगे
I have one suggestion on these special days. Let us have only glorification because Bhagavatam class from in the future, let us select some important days like Srila Prabhupada, one from Srila Prabhupada, one from Bhaktivedanta Thakur, one Guru Maharaj, like important acharyas. We can select and on those days we can have glorification so that we have enough time, sufficient time. So it's not good to go beyond 9 o'clock and 9:30 to keep some time. So we can do 10 more minutes and then conclude.
Yes, Maharaj ji.
नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते भक्त मनाय मणिपुरोदराय च प्रभुपादन सद्वानि प्रचारणे रतायते नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने शिवार्षवानवि देवी दायिताय कृपाध्याय कृष्ण संपद विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्य जल प्रेमाढ श्री रूपानुग भक्ति श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमता दिनतारिणे रूपानुग विवृत उपसिद्धांत धांतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः नमः। गुरुदेव कबे मोर सही दिन हवे, गुरुदेव कबे मोर सही दिन हवे। मन स्थिर करी निजने बसिया कृष्ण नाम का बजबे, गुरुदेव कृष्ण नाम का बजबे। संसार पुकार काने ना पशिवे, देह रोग दूर रवे। संसार पुकार काने ना पशिवे, देह रोग दूर रवे। गुरुदेव कृष्ण नाम भजबे। हरे कृष्ण बोली गाइते गाइते नयने बही गयो। हरे कृष्ण बोली गाइते गाइते नयने बही गेलो। देहते पुलक उदित होइबे, प्रेमते करिबे घोर। गुरुदेव कबे मोर सही हवे। गदगद वाणी गदगद वाणी मुखे बाहारी, गदगद वाणी मुखे बाहिरिबे, कंपिबे शरीर मम। घर्म मोह मोह विवर्ण होइबे, स्तमित प्रलय सम। निष्कपटे हेन दशा कबे हवे, निरंतर नाम गावो। आवेश रहिया देह যাত্রা करी, তোমার করুণা পাব। निरंतरे नाम गाव। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद। जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय प्रभुपाद, आचार्य ठाकुर जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय भक्ति संचलन सदगुरु प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की आचार्य जय। सभी भक्त लोग प्रार्थना करना गुरु भक्ति प्रभुपाद कि हम लोग कृपा करें कि हम लोग प्रभुपाद गुरु महाराज का आशीर्वाद भक्त लोग का संग से ऐसे हम लोग महाप्रभु का वाणी सेवा में गुरु महाराज का सेवा में लोग लगते रहेंगे और निर्देशों को पालन करके हमारा जीवन को गुरु गुरान की सेवा में लगाना। इसके लिए प्रभुपाद को हम लोग प्रार्थना करना। प्रभुपाद बहुत कृपा करके सब लोग को, हमारा तो ये वैष्णव संप्रदाय का बहुत कुछ पतित हो गया था, लेकिन भक्ति संस्कृत प्रभुपाद उनका कृपा से आज हम लोग का सब कुछ है। नहीं तो हमारा जो वैष्णव संप्रदाय सब कुछ सर्वनाश हो गया था। आज ही भक्ति प्रभुपाद का कृपा से हम लोग सब कुछ मिला है, इसलिए उनका ही कृपा से ही सब कुछ हो रहा है। इसलिए उनका पाद पद्म में सभी भक्त लोग हम लोग से प्रार्थना करना चाहिए। और वैष्णव का तो गुण कीर्तन नहीं होना ही चाहिए। वैष्णव का गुण कीर्तन करने से हमारा सब कुछ सुफल होता है, मंगल होता है। तो प्रभुपाद गुरु महाराज भक्ति प्रभुपाद का निर्देशों को प्रभुपाद पालन करके एक एक छोटा छोटा सेवा करके आज कितना बड़ा सोसाइटी को आगे बढ़ाया। ऐसे पर हम लोग भी उनका शिक्षा को हम लोग ग्रहण करना और वो अपना जीवन में पालन करना। ऐसे करने से हमारा भी भक्ति में हम लोग आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। जय भक्ति संस्कृत प्रभुपाद की जय, वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय। पंचा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा। Vikrant Rodi. Okay. Shyam Krishna Prabhu left, I guess. Acharyan Prabhu. Yeah. I think there are anyone else would like to say anything in 1 minute. If so, please raise your hand. If not, we will conclude for the day. Yes, Maharaj, please.
Hare Krishna. Since you gave 1 minute, so somebody had to take it, so nobody was taking, so I thought. So, Bhaktivedanta Surya Thakur, his teachings are very, very, very lofty and very filled with so much aesthetism, aesthetic flavor. So many esoteric aspects he discussed, and whosoever listened to him, he just made it clear that if you don't qualify, you won't understand. So, and in order to qualify, you have to surrender. So that was his mood, that people want to understand and know many things which are beyond their capacity to comprehend. So when he did not, but he emphasized, he revealed that you may ask very lofty and esoteric questions, but in order to comprehend, you have to surrender. Without, when he didn't see that sense of surrender, he did reply, but nothing would be registered. That was his very unique mood. So he made many professors and many stalwarts would come to see him. But something so sublime, something so priceless, if it is given to someone, then somebody doesn't have the price to pay, then one has to find out what is the price to receive. So the only price is unconditional surrender. In this regard, in his teachings on the search for truth, there are many sections, many subject matters he described, but so he used to say that if the sadhu turns into my flatterer, then he does me harm. Most people in the conditioned world, even when they go to sadhus, they like to be eulogized, like to be praised in many ways. But actually, the conditioned soul doesn't have any idea how much purification is yet to be received. So at least a sadhu turns into our flatterer. And he does me harm. This is Bhaktivedanta used to say. He becomes my enemy rather, because conditioned state since eternity, and now in this human form of life, we are given this opportunity, this potential to get it all the way. So only one who can inspire us that yes, you did a journey, but You made a beginning, but it's a long, long, long way to go. So don't become stuck with being praised by even sadhus. So if he gives us flattery, then we are led to the road that brings enjoyment, but no real well-being. Very profound statement. Right? If a sadhu gives us flattery, then we are led to the road that brings enjoyment, because this is what most people come to receive. And sadhu say, oh, a lot of people are coming to me, and let them have whatever they want, not whatever they need. That was the whole difference of the attitude and the demeanor of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He insisted to give people what they really needed, not what they liked or wanted, because a conditioned soul cannot know what he really needs. He thinks, I want this, and conditioned soul thinks whatever he wants is his needs. No, there is a big difference between what one wants and what one needs. Need is something one cannot live with. So without Krishna consciousness, like fish out of the water, that was the need he was trying to expose to the people who would come to him. So no one can be the teacher of the truth except the devotee of God. So that was his statement. If it will not do any good if curd is called milk. Curd is no doubt derived from milk as its source, but a spoiled milk is never curd. So transcendental knowledge stands on sumati, or the good disposition. All these things he would say, they are unlimited things, but the Supreme Lord is worshipped, so he emphasized that concentration on the holy name to be glorified, Kirtaniya Sadahari. He writes in one of his teachings. I will just, in 2 minutes, I will just, it's in Hindi I have, so if nobody minds. He says that Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, yahi Sri Gaudiya Math ke ekmatra upashya hai. To Krishna to be glorified, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is what we have to worship. This is our deity actually. This is what I said, upashya. Krishna has to be perceived to be glorified all the time. That's what he meant. Like Kirtaniya Sadahari Mahaprabhu said. And he said that Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the whole engagement. Sankirtanam, Samyak Kirtan, complete Kirtan, means it involves 24/7. It involves our gross body, senses, and the subtle body, Antakaran. It's not that Sankirtan can be performed in isolation. No, the whole consciousness is involved, and then consciousness takes the body and the senses and the mind, everything. So this is what we discussed today on the platform of consciousness. So when consciousness, so chitta is involved in whatever function authorized by our spiritual master and authority we do, it becomes Sankirtan actually. Then his very lofty ideas, like Maharaj gave the example of that what so-called stalwart, Subhash Chandra Bose, that was very wonderful. He was so revolutionary as our Brihaspati Maharaj described. Just think of this statement he said. He said, जीवों की विपरीत रुचि को परिवर्तन करना ही सर्वश्रेष्ठ दयालुता का परिचय है. That was the essence what Brihaspati Maharaj said, that if it causes transformation of our heart, that would be the greatest homage to these acharyas. So he used to say, जीवों की विपरीत रुचि को परिवर्तन करना ही सर्वश्रेष्ठ दयालुता का परिचय है. The greatest mercy bestowed upon the living entity, conditioned soul, is to cause the change of their heart. Viprit ruchi. The heart is hankering only for this mundaneness or this material entanglement, birth after birth. Now to change that interest in something transcendental, that is the highest highest kind of mercy. महामाया के दुर्ग के बीच से यदि एक जीव की भी रक्षा कर सको, if one can pull out even one living entity from this apparently unending structure of Mahamaya Durga, since eternity, then it is the work of greater significance or greater importance of doing good to others, in the name of Paropkar, doing good to others. This, even if one living entity from material entanglement of Maya can be pulled out, and pulled out means then taken, cause his incessant interest in Krishna, then it is worth greater than opening thousands and thousands or hospitals, 1,000 and 1,000 times greater than thousands and thousands of opening the hospitals. This kind of, so his ideas were very lofty and nobody could take them lightly. So that's why he was very, very serious and grave, and nothing he would say which didn't have deeper and deeper meaning. So everybody would become alert whenever he would speak, and in his presence, everybody was simply just fully attentive. That was his impact on his listeners. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for patiently being with us. We'll end the session for the day. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Rajagatna Maharaj.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Thank you all for joining. See you all in tomorrow's class. Hare Krishna.